SUVs. Love them, hate them. Somehow, almost everyone seems to drive one these days. And there's a method in this madness. I did a listicle about 25,000 euro compact cars the other month, and it seems that for not much extra money, you're getting a whole lot more with an SUV. Today, it's 11 SUVs or crossovers for up to 35 grand. First, let me clarify that I will use the term SUV and crossover interchangeably. It used to be that an SUV was a body-on-frame design and a crossover had a monocoque chassis, but these days the boundaries are blurring, and the automakers are not making our lives easier, calling something like a Hyundai Bayon or Toyota Yaris Cross an SUV. Roll eye. I decided to take a look at the largest cars in this segment that can be bought for up to 35,000 euro. The prices are from manufacturers' websites in Germany, hence in some markets prices may differ. Also, prices are accurate in the second half of February 2023. If you find a better deal in 6 months or prices go up, sorry, that's how the market works. I list the cars in alphabetical order. If there are several cars that fit the bill within a brand, I choose the one that I think offers better value. Also, I'm focusing on cars reviewed on this channel. Unfortunately, I won't be testing the Renault Austral until next month, but stay tuned for that. We'll start off with the Citroën C5 Aircross. Despite C5 in its name, this car has nothing in common with the former C5 sedan liftback or station wagon. It's a crossover, front-wheel drive only, but with optional grip control. It won't do much in rougher terrain, but on slippery surface it might help. It's basically a pictogram for different ESP programs. The most notable feature of the C5 Aircross is, in my opinion, the rear seat, specifically 3 individually sliding seats. This is a real treat for families with 2 or 3 kids, as cars with separate seats are scarce these days. There are 2 ISOFIX anchor points in the back and another one on the front passenger seat. The 580-liter boot has plenty of room, and the suspension with progressive hydraulic bump stops means that once the kids fall asleep, they may not wake up on the first pothole. Prices start at 32,670 euro for the 130 horsepower PureTech engine with a manual transmission. For £1,000 more, you get a higher trim level. You can't do much more here, up to 35,000 euro, but there's a diesel should you want to spend more. The plugins are ridiculously expensive, starting at over 43 grand. The next car on the list is Hyundai Tucson, bold design with parametric, Google it, features, or you can also watch my review to find out. Anyway, it's got a sizable trunk, 40-20-40 split rear seat with adjustable backrest angle, but ISOFIX anchor points are only in the back. The Tucson may look interesting, but it's not the most exciting car. A lot will depend on the equipment that you manage to squeeze into it, up to 35,000 euro. No diesel at this price point, unfortunately, and only the basic trim. However, you can go as high as the third powertrain option and choose front-wheel drive mild hybrid with a double clutch transmission. That's 150 horsepower. Or go crazy and choose the 180 horsepower manual. The good news is at least Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. And I heard about the clogging GPF issue. A solution for new and existing clients is on the way. Since the Kia Sportage is more expensive than the Tucson, I suggest you look at the Niro Hybrid. The Niro has a surprisingly spacious interior, it's modern looking in and out, and the regular hybrid version is ideal if once in a while you like to drive further and perhaps away from the main highways where charging infrastructure is abundant. All this starting from 32,590 euro, so there's still some room for options. Here I thought I'll tell you what a great deal the Mazda CX-30 is. For 35 grand, you're up there in the more powerful engine and perhaps even all-wheel drive territory, but if space is what you need, you can actually get a CX-5 below 35,000 euro. Below 35,000 euro, you can get second trim with front-wheel drive and Mazda's excellent manual transmission, 165 horsepower, a lot of car that will last you a long time. The boot capacity is 506 liters in 5-seat configuration, 1620 with the seats dropped. The rear doors open very wide, giving you better access to child seats. Isofix mounting points are on the outer rear seats, but not on the front passenger seat. The doors cover the sills. If you want to blame someone for the crossover trend, it's probably Nissan and the Qashqai. The Qashqai starts at a very reasonable €28,640, but that's what some people call poverty spec. The next trim is €33,340 for the 140 horsepower front-wheel drive manual, just over $1,000 more if you want more power. You're getting a popular, non-offensive crossover, good boot space, okay space in the back. Also, this is a new 3rd gen Qashqai, so it has a valid 5-star Euro NCAP rating. The next two models in alphabetical order are from the same group and they are pretty similar. I'm talking about the Opel Grandland and the Peugeot 3008. Opel Grandland lost the X in its name along with all-wheel drive, but at least it starts at just €30,980, and if you're satisfied with the base engine and manual transmission, you can go all the way up to the top GS trim and still buy a color. So go with Opel. Peugeot 3008 is here only because it starts at €34,200, but come on, Opel, it's the same car. With prices starting at €28,510 and reasonable trim and options policy, it's hard to get a better deal than Skoda Karoq. I know it's boring, but ergonomics are flawless and space is generous for the segment. Below €35,000, you can get the top trim 150 horsepower 1.5 manual or the entry model but with DSG and room for options. You can even get a diesel with DSG. Watch my pre-facelift and facelifted Skoda Karoq reviews, and I also suggest you watch the Skoda Fabia review where I talk more about the way Skoda deals with options and what is worth choosing. Ssangyong Corando is my next suggestion. It starts at $28,490, but you can't do much with it. You have to go to $31,490 amber trim, and then you can choose either automatic or all-wheel drive. Petrol and diesels seem to cost the same. The Corando may not be the most modern car out there, but you can get it below $35,000. Of course, not the EV model I'm showing in the cutaways, and I think I'd still wait for the Taurus to launch. Suzuki didn't make it on my compact sub €25,000 list, but up to $35,000, here's the S-Cross. Starting at €29,290 for the comfort trim, there's still a lot to choose from for the money. Don't even look at the full hybrid because it's crap, but the mild hybrid is fine and you can have it below €35,000 with all-wheel drive and a manual transmission. An honest car for a reasonable price. Check out my recent review in case you missed it. Toyota. Okay, get the Corolla Cross. Just remember it has uncomfortable front passenger seat. I thought about the slightly cheaper CHR, but the Corolla Cross comes with Toyota's 5th generation hybrid drivetrain. It's easy to achieve good fuel economy thanks to the more efficient batteries. In the low and mid-rev range, the 197 horsepower Corolla Cross has some grunt similar to what we're used to with turbocharged engines. But there's no turbo here, just proven Japanese technology. Last but not least on my list is the Volkswagen Tiguan. Starting at €31,545, there's some room for options or engine choices. You can even get a poverty spec diesel. But if you decide to dream big and go for the second trim called Life, then you'll have to shell out €33,520, and that buys you the basic 130 horsepower 1.5 TSI motor. Grey is the free paint, so stick with that. 17-inch wheels are fine. Ergo active seats, yes please. And you also get a winter pack with a heated steering wheel. That's cool. You can also get park assist, and that's about it. As I said at the beginning, there's a lot to choose from among SUVs and crossovers for up to €35,000. And compared to regular compact cars, it's hard to resist the temptation to add $1,000 or $2 and get a trendier car with better equipment. Of course, it is often also tempting to add more options, to choose a more powerful engine or maybe all-wheel drive, and if you're paying cash for it, this could be hard to swallow, but it may be less noticeable in a monthly installment. Are you looking for an SUV? What's your budget? What features are a must for you? Drop me a comment below. Also, I'll be making more listicles like this and posting them every last Friday of the month. If you have an idea for what sort of cars I should make a list of, let me know below this video. Maybe it'll be the subject of one of my future videos. If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.